Hello friends, vinyl community, music lovers, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I take 5 albums that are new to me from the inbox, clean them up, give them a listen, and let you know what I thought of them, and let you know whether they're going to be staying in my collection or whether I didn't like them and they're going to be going away. So let's just go ahead and get into this. Hope everyone is doing really well. Doing much better. So the first album we have today is the 4th album from the band Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This is, of course, the wildly popular Brain Salad Surgery, released in 1973. This is the actually an original pressing of this album, and see in the artwork there's sort of a penis there. This is was later removed in later pressing, so this is an original pressing. And very, very cool gatefold here, die-cut gatefold, and open it up and get this picture inside. And the artwork for this album was done by Geiger. There's the original inner sleeve that has just some advertisements for different albums there. Definitely some classics on there. It's always cool to see these original inserts selling these albums, and I see some really killer stuff on these, and at the time it was just a new album. The reason I bought this is actually an upgrade copy for me. This one has the poster that came with the album originally. I think I showed this back when I bought it, but I'll show it to you one more time. It's sort of cut out with lyrics there, and then you get a picture of the band members. Love big posters like this. But yeah, really cool, really awesome to find a complete version of this album. I actually found this at the Hospice thrift store for 50 cents, so that was just a killer find to be able to find one in great condition with the poster and everything for that kind of price. It was just a good day. The label has a continuation of the artwork on it, so custom labels pressed at Specialty Records Corp. SRC in the dead wax. So yeah, the music for Brain Salad Surgery, it has a very classical sound. It's well known. This is progressive rock, very classical, very long, extended, meant to be played all at once. Just a great classic album. Not my favorite Emerson, Lake and Palmer album, but definitely a very good one, and one a lot of people I know love and have in their collection. And this one is going in my collection. Obviously, as I said, it's an upgrade copy for a rougher copy that I have already, so definitely a classic one everyone should at least give a try. If you're into progressive rock, this is pretty much a staple. So the next album on the chopping block is the debut album from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, self-titled, from 1970. This one, of course, features the song Lucky Man, and a little bit different than the later Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums. This one has less of a continuous theme throughout. It's more of just basically songs by themselves, tracks by themselves. Has more of a traditional rock album sound with single songs and more focused on the singles. But still progressive rock, still got the organs and whatnot in here. And actually the cover art, this was originally meant to be a album cover for a Spirit album, and you can see sort of the bald head here. It was meant to be a Spirit album. Ended up getting used for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And this is on Cotillion Records, sort of a subdivision of Atlantic. They would sort of put out things on Cotillion, and then when they got popular, they would move them over to Atlantic. So this actually does have the Cotillion label on it. And we have GP in the dead wax. That's George Piros at Atlantic doing the mastering. And PR for Presswell, I believe, is where the pressing was done for this. I didn't do the research to find out if this was actually an original pressing or not. I do know that copy of Brain Salad Surgery was definitely an original pressing based off the Matrix numbers. But yeah, this is definitely a classic. If you're into ELP, you're gonna have this, and definitely a must-have. And this one was Blue from the Friends of the Library sale. So I don't remember what Blue is. I think it's probably $1. I think I probably paid $1 for this. So definitely a worthwhile purchase. Great album just for Lucky Man by itself, and to hear the rest of this album together and hear the start of the band. Okay, next up we have a new album from the band The Knife. This is titled Shaking the Habitual. This is their release for this year, 2013. Came out in the springtime. The Knife are a Swedish electronic music duo. And this very, very rhythmic, drumming, electronic kind of music. There's part of the inside here. Get more. 3 LP set, very long album. This actually it comes with CDs as well, and it's actually had to be put onto 2 CDs. It's so long it wouldn't fit onto 1 CD. Lots of long tracks. Lots of very, like I said, polyrhythmic sort of sounds, very interesting, and a very political album, which I tend to like political. When musicians get political, I tend to like that. It's a little bit different. I've never heard sort of an electronic political themed album before. They're talking about sort of, you see on the cover here, end extreme wealth, and it's kind of just shaking the habitual. It's talking about how, sort of shaking things up and saying how, the problems with the world extend from, extreme wealth. Also has to do with themes of sexuality and gender issues in general, and that idea that a family is a man and a woman and 2 kids and a dog. It's just sort of shaking up that idea that that's what a family is, and there's sort of a lot of different themes going on here. Very interesting music, very challenging to listen to. Like I said, it's not like a straightforward singer-songwriter where they're in your face with the lyrics, and it's very, very easy to see what they're saying here. You have to really pay attention and listen to this to hear the message. I've been listening to this for several months now, trying to devour it and trying to understand it all. It does come with 2 posters. I'll just show you one here, but each poster has a sort of a story, and then on the back side you get some lyrics and stuff and some liner notes and things like that. But a really cool album. This was my sort of introduction to The Knife. I hadn't really listened to them before. I've heard some Fever Ray tracks in the past, which is, I guess, sort of a side project. This female singer from The Knife doing music as well. I've heard some tracks, but I haven't really listened to Fever Ray either. So this is something it was new. I wanted to get into it and give it a try, and I really like it. I'm going to be exploring this more in years to come. I really do like it, and I think there's more here for me to discover, and really cool. So definitely check out The Knife if you're into any kind of electronic music or political music, or just want to hear something different and interesting and not like anything you've heard before. This is definitely one I recommend. So that one's obviously going in the collection. Okay, changing gears once again. This is something completely different again, but that's my style. I don't really follow any kind of pattern when it comes to style. This is the 7th album from the Charlie Daniels Band called Saddle Tramp. That cover, 1976 is when this was released. Inside. And yeah, I think Charlie Daniels is a sort of an underappreciated artist, underappreciated group. They're well known for Devil Went Down to Georgia, but nobody seems to know much beyond that. Really awesome group in my opinion. They get sort of shuffled into the country genre, which they are country, but they branch out a lot. There's definitely some jazz elements there, some fusion jazz elements, southern rock elements, a lot of things going on. Really, this is a really great album too from Charlie Daniels Band. If you really want to challenge what you think of the Charlie Daniels Band, give this album a listen to. There's lots of long jams on here, several long jams on here that really go touch on a lot of that fusion jazz kind of sound that they have, and it's just a really cool group. I love Charlie Daniels Band, and like I said, I think they're underappreciated. And this happens to be on Epic with the orange label, orange sort of Target label. So yeah, it's Saddle Tramp from Charlie Daniels. If you haven't explored Charlie Daniels any, I definitely recommend giving this album a try. It's you're not going to hear anything you've heard before from them, and it definitely is not a straightforward country album. Very, very good music here, so definitely check this one out. Okay, and last but not least, talking about jazz, this happens to be a very classic jazz album that I didn't have in my collection until recently, and something I've been working on, sort of getting those classic jazz albums into my collection just so I can hear them and experience them and sort of explore jazz some more. And so this is John Coltrane's A Love Supreme. This is the reissue, I believe it was done in 2009 on Impulse. That, and then the gatefold here. Very cool gatefold. I do like the gatefold on this one. Very spiritual jazz album, just beautiful. I see why this is such a loved classic album. And that is what the label looks like on that one. Impulse label, limited edition. So yeah, classic jazz album, one everyone needs to have in their collection, and I finally have this in my collection. I'm glad to have it in there, even if you're not big into jazz. I think this is one everyone should hear. I'm glad to finally have this one in my collection. So that's another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed already, if you already are subscribed, thank you very much for that. And yeah, all 5 albums made it this time. 5 amazing albums, 5 great albums. Definitely recommend all of them. So with that being said, thanks again for watching. We'll see you again real soon. Cheers.